The midday sun blazed mercilessly over Dugby Market, its rays bouncing off zinc rooftops and casting sharp shadows across the narrow aisles. Voices rose and fell in a thousand rhythms, traders calling out their wares, customers bargaining with fiery persistence, children weaving between stalls with laughter that rang like bells. The air was thick with the smell of roasted corn, fried plantain, dried fish, and dust kicked up by countless hurried feet. In the middle of this great swirl of humanity moved Aisha, a young mother, her wrapper tied tightly and a worn handbag slung across her shoulder. In her left hand, she clutched her 5-year-old daughter, Zainab, whose big brown eyes sparkled with curiosity at the world around her. "Hold my hand, Zainab. Don't let go," Aisha repeated, her voice a mix of warning and affection. "Yes, Mama," the child replied, skipping slightly to keep up. They stopped at a yam seller's stall. The farmer, his face lined like the cracked soil of a farm in Harmattan, lifted 2 large tubers. 5,000 for both, he said. Aisha clicked her tongue. "Too much. I will give you 3. Her eyes narrowed as she weighed the bargain. For a single heartbeat, her focus drifted entirely to the yams. It was in that brief moment, that single dangerous crack in attention, that the small fingers curled inside her palm loosened. A tug, a slip, and then nothing. When she turned back, Zainab was gone. At first, she thought the child was right behind her. She glanced around quickly, scanning the neighboring stalls. Her voice rose lightly, almost playful. "Zainab, Zainabu, where are you hiding?" Silence answered. Her voice sharpened, slicing through the thick air. "Zainab." The yam seller paused mid-sentence. Other traders looked up, irritation flickering across their faces until they saw the wildness spreading in Aisha's eyes. Her bag dropped to the ground. She spun around, searching frantically, calling louder, her tone breaking like glass. "Zainab, somebody help me. My child is gone." The market, so loud a moment ago, shifted into a strange hush. It was the kind of silence that presses on the chest, a silence born of fear recognized by all. A missing child. Men abandoned their stalls. Women with trays on their heads balanced them hastily on stools. Young boys darted out of narrow alleys, curious. In seconds, what had been a noisy, bustling scene turned into a hive of concern and movement. "She can't have gone far," someone said. "Check near the mosque." Another voice shouted, "Look at the Okada stand." Feet pounded against the ground as the crowd spread out like water spilling from a broken pot. Aisha staggered, clutching her wrapper. She sank to her knees, dust rising around her. "Allah, do not let me go home without my child, please," she cried, her tears blinding her eyes. An old woman placed a trembling hand on her shoulder. Her voice was steady, carrying the weight of wisdom. "In this world, when one child is missing, it is all our children that are missing. Stand, daughter, we will find her." But even as the search widened, whispers began to weave through the crowd like smoke. "They steal children for money rituals these days. I heard last week in Lagos, a girl was never found. What if?" The whispers grew claws. Suspicion fell upon a young man in a red shirt, spotted earlier with a child at his side. Fingers pointed. A hand grabbed his collar. He protested, shaking violently. "I didn't take anyone. I didn't. By God, I swear." The crowd pressed closer. Anger surged like a tide about to break into mob justice. Then a voice rose above the chaos firm, commanding. Baba Aid, the oldest trader in the market, leaned on his carved staff, his wrinkled face set with authority. "Patience." He thundered, "Do not harm the innocent. A single mistake and you will add blood to sorrow. Search wisely." The crowd froze. The tension eased, just slightly. The young man was released, though his body shook as if he had stared death in the face. Moments later, a tug at a woman's wrapper drew fresh attention. A small boy, no older than 7, pointed timidly. "Mama." "I saw her, the little girl. She followed the balloon man." The words spread faster than fire on dry grass. A stream of people rushed toward the far end of the market where a balloon vendor stood, his arms full of colors red, green, yellow, blue. And there, among the dancing balloons, clapping her hands in delight, stood Zainab. Her cheeks glowed with laughter, innocent, unaware of the storm she had stirred. Aisha saw her and screamed. Her feet carried her forward, stumbling, tripping, but never stopping. She snatched Zainab into her arms, pressing her close, her sobs echoing against the child's hair. "My baby. My Zainab. Never again will I let you go." Relief crashed over the market like rain after drought. People cheered, some wept openly. Even the falsely accused young man was embraced by the old woman, as though the sight of the child restored his dignity. Baba Aid lifted his staff again, his voice slower now, filled with gravity. "Today we saw how quickly joy can turn to sorrow. This market fell into silence because one child was missing. Let us remember, every child belongs to us all. In unity we find our strength." Heads nodded, murmurs of agreement spread. Gradually, the market returned to its noise, but the echo of the silence remained etched in every heart, and Aisha, still clutching her daughter, whispered to herself with trembling lips, "This silence will never leave me."